What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Apex Legends on Blacktide TV. Buckle up because I have a ton of content planned for this game on the channel, but one thing you will not be seeing from me is a full review in any capacity. I've seen so many other channels posting their full review of Apex Legends within a couple days of the game launching. Most players didn't know this game existed until Monday morning, and now you expect me to believe that after a handful of play sessions, you have enough inside knowledge to not only review the game, but to make a recommendation on the game on the behalf of thousands of impressionable viewers. It almost seems unethical to me given the nature of the game itself. This is not a single player experience where all of the content is packaged up in a small box with a big red bow that you can experience in 12 hours and then give your opinion on. Apex Legends is always online, and every time you play, you will have a different experience. Not only based on which legend you choose, what weapons you find, where you land, who is on your team and who is on the enemy team, but even your individual experiences. You could just have a few bad drops on your first few games and get pissy and say that you don't like the game. That will permanently affect your judgment. It goes without saying that there is so much content waiting in the wings of Apex Legends that a review made within the first few hours of gameplay would be nothing but inaccuracies. I've been playing the game since the reveal livestream Monday morning. I had the game downloaded before the livestream had ever finished and I was playing. It wasn't until Thursday afternoon that I had found my first Titanfall Legacy weapon. I'm of course referring to the golden, very popular Titanfall weapons that you can only find in supply drops, like the Kraber 50 cal sniper rifle and the Mastiff shotgun. Didn't even know those guns were in the game until day 4. And you were telling me you have enough inside knowledge on day 1 to make a review. So while there will be individual videos focusing on very particular elements of the game in the future, don't expect a full review anytime soon. The game is simply too large, there is way too much content to digest. In fact, most players don't yet have access to the content that is currently available to them. I'm of course referring to Caustic and Mirage. When you first boot up Apex Legends, you'll be introduced to 8 hero characters, each with their own unique abilities, though you'll only be able to select from 6. The final 2, Caustic and Mirage, are locked and you'll have to unlock them using either legend tokens or Apex coins. Either way, you are committing to using these characters, and I don't want you to choose the wrong one. So in today's video, we'll be going over both of the characters, their special abilities, and why you might be interested in one over the other. First and foremost, and possibly the most important part of today's video, how will you be getting your hands on the new legends? Legend tokens are the key to unlocking your characters for free, but they may be more trouble than they're worth. Every character will set you back 12,000 legend tokens, and while you're given a steady trickle of legend tokens as you rank up, you won't be able to unlock your first legend with this method until rank 23, and your second legend presumably sometime afterward. Apex Legends is a free-to-play game, and as such there are microtransactions, though I find them to be far less predatory than most free-to-play games, which is curious especially given this particular publisher. Because of the high AAA quality of the title, I have no qualms about spending a few extra dollars to support the development team and unlock my legends a little sooner using Apex coins, the monetized currency of Apex Legends. Each of the legends will cost 750 coins to unlock, 1,500 total, a rough approximation to $15 US. But there are a number of different ways to unlock Apex coins. There are a number of bundles currently available, so I'd like to walk you through which bundle you might be most interested in, the best way to spend your hard-earned dollar on this game if you are enjoying it as much as I am. For reference, the following information was collected on PlayStation 4, and all monetary values will be in Canadian dollars. The in-game store will only give you the option to purchase currency at various intervals. For example, you could buy 1,000 Apex coins for $13.49 or 2,150 Apex coins for $26.99. While the former option is far cheaper, 1,000 Apex coins is not enough to buy both legends if you are looking for both. You could buy one and rank up to rank 23 to unlock the other with your legend tokens, or you might need to look at other options. 2,150 coins is more than enough to buy both legends, but in my opinion there are better ways to get more content. There is a starter pack that you can buy for $6.99 and it will include 600 Apex coins that you could stack on top of the 1,000 Apex coins, but you also get an exclusive weapon skin and a badge with that starter pack. My personal favorite though, and the one that I went with, was the Founders Pack. The Founders Pack is $39.99 Canadian, and it comes with 2,000 Apex coins, far more than you need to unlock both legends, as well as a few extra bonus items. And it also comes with a weapon skin, some character skins, some character badges, and a bunch of banner frames. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff to show off that you are a big fan of the game. For argument's sake, let's say you aren't entirely convinced with Apex Legends just yet, and you're hoping to go the free-to-play route by ranking up and unlocking your legends using legend tokens. You'll only be able to purchase one of the specialists, and you don't want to be dissatisfied with which character you choose, so which one would I recommend? Throughout the commentary, I've had gameplay using both of the specialists, and even in the gameplay, I feel like there is some clear favoritism, but I'll try not to let that cloud my judgment. I think both of the characters are incredibly special in their own right. They're both made for incredibly different playstyles, and one might suit you better than it suits me. Before ever delving into these characters' unique abilities, I'd like to bring your attention to something most players might not consider when making their choice, and that is the characters themselves, or more accurately, the character classes. While Mirage gets away with being an assault character, Caustic is defensive, and defensive tank type characters like Caustic and Gibraltar are much larger in stature than other characters, meaning you will be much more easily spotted and shot on the battlefield. Luckily, the best suited playstyle for Caustic is a passive one, as he excels at defending an area, throwing down gas traps to damage and disorient his enemies. Unfortunately, unlike other legends with multiple independent abilities, all of Caustic's abilities work together. For example, his passive Nox Vision gives him threat vision on enemies moving through his gas, highlighting them in green. So if you never used your gas grenades or your gas traps, the passive would be completely pointless, and there would be no reason to use this character over any other. I do have to admit the tactical Nox Gas Trap is one of the more unique abilities in the game, given that you can leave it to its own devices on the map. You can place up to 6 traps, and when players approach them, the gas is released and will start to damage and disorient them. Though they're pretty bulky and obvious to the trained eye, so the best place to leave these is around corners, behind doors, somewhere that the enemy is going to unknowingly walk into the gas trap, and they're going to be caught by it and caught off guard and disoriented to the point that they can't escape your gas. I'd personally recommend you use the map to your advantage when placing your gas traps, so think the Canyon Passage, where players will undoubtedly set them off running from the storm, or later in the game when you are hunkered down in a building because you are a defensive character, you are better stationary. Place them all around the multiple entry points so that you can defend yourself or so that you can snipe without having to worry about checking your back every 20 seconds. It's a pretty great ability for a really stationary passive player. And you can use them offensively as well. You can throw the gas trap a little distance, but for the most part, it is meant as a defensive mechanism. Mirage, on the other hand, is anything but defensive, an assault type character that in most games would be considered the rogue with Loki-like illusion abilities. In the game itself, he is known as the holographic trickster. If you were a fan of Reaper's Psychosis ability in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, similar power set on display here with Mirage, except it's more dialed up to 11 as he can employ additional abilities while his holographic decoys are active. In fact, I would say Mirage has 4 special abilities where the average legend only has 3. It is the self-same Psych Out tactical ability that is being used for the 4th, but because you can use it before ever touching the ground, it makes it a unique ability in my eyes. By which I mean, before you ever touch the ground while you are deploying into the map, you can send out 2 holographic decoys of yourself to make your landing location look far busier than it really is, which might dissuade enemies from your location, giving you a chance at better loot right off the beginning of the game. It may seem small, but it is an incredible advantage to have, especially given no other legend can use their abilities until they touch the surface of the map. Mirage specializes in assault and counter-assault, screwing with enemy players' heads to flank and get the advantage on them. His tactical Psych Out ability lets you send out 1 holographic decoy once you hit the ground to confuse the enemy. though there are a couple ways that you can use that decoy to your advantage. Two of my favorites are to send him away from the gunfight so that enemies think you are fleeing. They'll give chase out into the open desert, and then you can shoot them in the back. Or I'll use him as an actual decoy to give away enemy locations. I'll put him at a door to the building that I'm hiding in, so they'll shoot at him and I can turn around and be prepared for them to come into the building. Or I'll just send him out into the middle of the ocean and someone will shoot at him and I'll know where they are. The ultimate Vanishing Act ability is something similar to how Wraith can phase into another dimension to avoid gunfights, with a few caveats. When you deploy the Vanishing Act, you will become cloaked, and it is very important that you hear the word cloaked and not the word invisible. Your character can still be seen, he's just a gray wispy outline of what he was. You can also still be shot, whereas Wraith physically transfers herself to another dimension and can't be harmed. You can be shot just the same as when you were visible, but you do have a team of decoys that will deploy around you before you cloak, which will throw off enemies that are shooting at you. I would definitely recommend that you use this ability on enemies that are shooting at you from a distance. If they're pretty close, they'll be able to see where you've gone, though you will be hightailing it out of there. I've used this ability countless times to run away from enemies that want my blood. The Vanishing Act is more of a recovery ability than it is an assault ability, as you'll be using it to escape gunfights so that you can heal yourself before further battle more often than you'll be using it to push on enemy teams, especially given that you cannot interact with anything, shoot your weapon, or anything of the sort while you are cloaked as well. You have to wait for the cloaking to stop before you can start shooting. That doesn't mean that you can't position yourself and prepare to shoot at somebody. Your weapons are still the same. You can probably reload. I'm not entirely certain about that, but you can reposition yourself and prepare for the next gunfight. I usually use it to get away from something that I know I can't win, and so that I can heal myself so that I can get back into the gunfight a little bit sooner. Last but not least, the passive ability for Mirage is very similar to the ultimate in that when you go down, you will automatically deploy a decoy that looks like they are downed while you cloak and you can crawl away for 5 seconds. I'll admit it rarely works, especially if your enemies are very close to you. They'll just shoot at the cloaked version of you because it's pretty obvious when you're so close. But if they down you from a distance, it gives you enough time to be able to crawl around a corner and prepare yourself to be revived. You can get away from some people are gullible enough, and it can be an effective ability, but don't put too much stock into the Encore passive ability. With all that said, I very much prefer Mirage over Caustic. I like his abilities. I like to deke out enemies. It's also incredibly entertaining to send your decoy out and watch an entire team chase after it, just firing for all they're worth, trying to get the kill. Caustic does have his place in the game, and if you are a defensive, passive player, you could probably do very, very well with him. Again, Caustic being the only specialist thus far that can leave an actual physical trap anywhere on the map for his enemies. Though for my money, Mirage over Caustic. Mirage is one of my favorite legends in the game so far, though by the end of this video, I would honestly recommend that you purchase both. You were meant to have both. In due time, you will unlock both, as well as any other future legends that have yet to be announced. But I find that every legend has their place in the game, and you should always be consulting with your teammates to make the perfect trio to have the best chance at winning a game. And both of these characters could come in handy in making that perfect trio. I would also recommend the Founders Pack, $39.99. I would have spent that on this game to begin with, so it doesn't bother me spending it now to get my legends a little sooner. Who knows, maybe that money is going towards Respawn Entertainment and their Titanfall 3 fund. So that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Which is your favorite, Caustic or Mirage? Or do you have a different favorite legend in Apex Legends? Let me know who it is and why in the comment section down below. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and I will catch you guys all on the next video.